If you're thinking of selling your law firm, there's 6 main things you need to consider before you start speaking to a buyer. I'm Andy Poole, legal sector partner at Armstrong and I work exclusively advising law firms. I head up a team that focus exclusively on the sector, and we get involved with more mergers, acquisitions, disposals of law firms than any other accountancy firm in the country, work in partnership with the Law Society for the provision of accountancy services and disposal services to law firms. The main thing is to start early, plan ahead, make sure you don't leave it too late to start the process. Give yourself enough time to be able to get through an entire transaction and enough orderly time for you to be able to exit the business. Particularly if you're looking ahead of a retirement, you want to give yourselves as much time as you can to be able to get everything lined up in the right way. Key aspect there is around professional indemnity insurance, and obviously you need to pay for that for a full year in advance. A couple of things around there. One is make sure that you are getting a premium lined up so that you could get a rebate if you don't need that full year's cover before we have a disposal. And the second point there is make sure that you've got enough control around how long you've got left with that professional indemnity insurance. If you've only got a month or so to go, you're going to be in a weakened negotiating position when it comes to a disposal. Well, from a perspective of trying to get the best deal, just don't try to do too much yourself. You want to maintain confidentiality, you want to make sure that you've got professional advisors helping and supporting you. But also, it's the cobbler's shoes mentality as well. When you're pulled in different directions, when you're looking after your own clients and your own interests, it's always your clients that take precedence, and therefore you lose time in terms of dealing with the things you need to for yourself or for your business. So make sure you do engage early on with a professional that knows the market, that will be able to get out there, be able to advise you from a position of strength. From a confidentiality perspective, you don't want your name splashed around the market, you don't want to be ringing up yourself, so really what you want is an advisor that can do that on a no-names basis for you. They'll be able to get in touch, describe your firm, and then try to gauge interest without actually saying who it is that you're being able to sell. They'll then be able to put a non-disclosure agreement in place before even sharing your name, so make sure you go through that process properly. You don't want your name being splashed around the market because it's going to adversely impact your value. If you try to do too much too early yourselves and you're having formal or informal conversations with potentially interested buyers, and you may be setting expectations. The buyers will be asking you what you're looking for out of this deal. You're going to give them an indication, and actually potentially you're then leaving too much on the table. What you should be doing actually is engaging with advisors who know the market, who know the multiples, who know what sort of deal you'll be able to get, and even then not going to the buyers and saying this is what we want through your advisors, but the advisors properly should be going to the buyers and saying here's the circumstances, what's it worth to you, what offer will you put down, and then we can respond accordingly. But the danger is if you try to do too much yourselves, you've already tied the hands of your advisors. I think if you're looking to sell your law firm, I think the key is to be able to engage with a sector specialist firm of accountants that really do know the legal sector inside out. They know the multiples, they know the deal values, they know the acquirers, they know who to go to, and they don't mass market you. In a typical way with corporate finance advisors, they will go through a mass market approach, they'll be spreading your name high and wide. That really doesn't work in the legal sector. What you need to do is have a coordinated approach where you go to the right firms that are likely not just to be able to pay you the right amount, but actually have the right cultural match so that you will get the best deal as a result. They'll also be able to make sure the deal structure works for you from a professional indemnity perspective, a dilapidations perspective, or disbursements perspective, and know how to treat all of those in terms of the deal itself. If you're looking to get the best result for you and the most appropriate fit, what you shouldn't be doing is mass marketing your law firm for a sale. The approach that we tend to take is that we'll sit down with our law firm clients, we'll understand their business, their objectives, we'll understand what's the right type of firm to be speaking with, what's the right location, the work types, the size, whether it's private equity backed or not, whether it's a traditional firm. On the back of that, we then go away and we pull a bit of analysis together, maybe 30 firms or so. We'll sit back down with our law firm client, we'll go through each of those 30s and we'll rank them, we'll rate each of them. We'll whittle that list down to maybe 10 firms, and we don't really want to go and speak to any more than 10 firms because they're the most appropriate firms to go and speak to. And we're not mass marketing, it's containing it. We'll then describe the firm on a no-names basis with those 10, see if they're interested, and if they are, we can then put a non-disclosure agreement in place before even sharing the name. At that stage, we've probably got a 2-page information summary document ready to share to be able to say, look, here's who the firm is, this is their numbers, are you really interested on that basis? That drums up a little bit of interest and really piques their appetite, and we can then take it from there, but it's from a controlled perspective and it's more likely to get the right result. Typical corporate finance advisors will want to prepare quite flashy, expensive, quite large information memorandums, because that's what has always happened in the corporate finance scene. But the problem is in the legal sector, you've got savvy buyers who don't really get torn apart by looking at lots and lots of detail. What they want is the specific things that they are looking for. It costs a lot of money for the vendors to be able to pull this together, and it's great for the corporate finance advisor because they get to charge for it. And don't get me wrong, I'd love to get paid more money for doing it, but I don't think that's the right thing for our clients. What's right for our clients is to focus on getting the attention of the buyers, focusing their attention, and then actually asking them, what is it that you specifically need in order to be able to put an offer forward, and then giving them that bespoke information in a more cost-effective manner than pulling together a big glossy brochure. If you're looking to exit from your law firm, if you're looking to retire, if you're looking to sell, if you're looking to maximise the value, then please do get in touch. We are market specialists and we'll be able to help you. Be happy to have an initial confidential conversation.